I sat for a year. I didn't do anything for a year. I'd rather not make money. I just have fun. So it's not easy. 200 views, 500 views, 1,000 views. I was like hanging around a home all day, just playing on your phone all day. And then it was very addicting. I think I needed to hear it from somebody. Like, hey, get out of it. I don't even think I slept that night because I have a real job. So I like to fix things. I enjoy fixing school games. Go to prom, go to homecoming, go to college. I didn't get to do any of that stuff. I'm not going, all we did was go out and play all the time, right? Playing sports, have their friends. Because I was like, what's going on here? Everything in moderation, I guess, when it comes down to it.
Yes.
I've been a farmer and 100,000. I was like 200,000. I'm like, well, what's going on here? I've been a cook. I kept on looking at my phone every 5-10 minutes. I can do everything. I'm a jack of all. So I enjoy it. It's not even work. I like it. I like doing it. Yeah, follow your dreams and always try to do the best you can.
Welcome to yet another episode of Jack of All. And today I have someone who claims that social media has saved their life. And this is such an important message for me, particularly when it comes to the mission of the podcast, as to what are some different unique learnings we can get from the norm of the understanding we all have about social media or different kind of topics we care about. So today I have someone who is not a broadcaster from the 70s, because there was a person called Jimmy the Greek. I have Jimmy the Greek, but he is our Seattle's very own, the dancing
Jimmy the Greek, as they know me on social media, father of 2 kids, and I'm more of the dancing Jimmy the Greek, not the other Jimmy the Greek. Although there's a history with all that. So I'm just a dad that dances with his kids. Honestly, that's who I am.
Awesome. And what is the history with the name Jimmy the Greek?
Mostly something that identifies with my culture. Actually, it started. I was doing Greek dancing, so they were trying to fit me in our traditional costumes. And the lady that was measuring me out, and I remember I was probably 19, 20 years old. She goes, "What is your name?" And I said, "Jimmy the Greek." And they all started laughing. So that's when I stuck. And I just went with it. So, and then whenever I open any social media accounts, I would just put down Jimmy the Greek.
I see.
Because I'm proud of being Greek, right?
That's amazing. You are a dancing dad, a single dancing dad.
Yes.
Who wears his culture on his sleeves and has 2 loving kids supporting their dad with his new pursuit of learning dance, teaching dance, showing dance and everything. What's your social media status, or what's your rap sheet there?
So it all started with TikTok during the pandemic. My daughter wanted me to download TikTok, and I had nothing to do, so we downloaded TikTok, and automatically we had success. So now on TikTok, I'm at 700,000 followers.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 years later. On Instagram, I'm on Instagram with 200, I can't remember, 40,000. Facebook, about 300 something thousand. And then on YouTube, and I'm on 470,000 followers.
You have YouTube, 400 YouTube subscribers, 400K YouTube subscribers.
470, yes.
Wow. And all of this because of your dance videos?
Dancing. Just
and
dancing.
This is all after COVID?
All after COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, during COVID. And most of the YouTube channel started probably 2 years after COVID, when I was trying to expand to further platforms other than TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And then and the YouTube introduced the shorts. So I just try to capitalize on that. And I think my timing was good. Yes.
So you think it's about timing and not about strategy?
Timing and strategy can be, you got to have both. You got to have both. You can't
the timing of the strategy was good.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot of people that have good strategy, but I think the timing helped a lot too.
So how do you assess your success on YouTube Shorts? What did you do?
Everything that I've been doing on TikTok. Same stuff. Just anything I was posting there, I would post there, and I would just stay on top of it. I did have a lot of success with some like acting with the kids, like lip syncing, like skits, little skits.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of that stuff, but I do believe being a dad of 2 teenage kids, dancing with my kids, and then the kids dancing with their father that appealed to a lot of people, I believe.
How do you assess most of your followers like about your content? Do you think they like the dance, the variety of it, the family love of it? Is it mostly Greek people? I don't believe it's just Greek people because you have too many followers.
It's a very small percentage probably of Greek people.
Okay.
I think it's mostly people of 30 and up.
Okay.
So, and I think I do believe I appeal to mostly parents.
Parents,
yes, for that exact reason, because a lot of parents either, a lot of moms, I read comments, they wish their husbands danced with their kids, or a lot of kids would respond to a lot of the videos and say, I wish my dad danced with me, or parents say, I wish my kids danced with me. So I don't know, they get a lot of, maybe they're living through this. I don't know. My kids, it's not like, I've always done things like this with my kids. So my kids have kind of grown up into it. And because we were making videos like this before there was TikTok.
Oh yeah,
we always made dance videos in my house. Yeah, we always had fun with that stuff.
As a father, like when you had kids, right? Did you like start encouraging them to do everything that you were doing, or you were just participating for everything that they were interested in? How did that go?
Both. Oh yeah. Since they were little, I wanted to make the most out of it. From the moment they were born, I wanted to be present. I did everything that they would do. So I would go to all their sports. I would go to all their school events. And then at home, it was just having fun. Pop the music in, and dance and play and play games, all kinds of things. Me and my ex-wife together. Yeah.
What is your perspective on dance? Are you someone who has explored outside of Greek dance, or Greek dance is big enough? I know there are 19, 20 different regions. Oh, yeah. Every region has different style.
There's a lot of a lot of dances in Greece. And I've learned dances from almost everywhere in Greece. And I can dance a lot of the dances. I'm not going to say I'm a professional, but I'm pretty seasoned, I would say. So aside from that and the fun stuff that I do here, I have not explored anything outside really.
Do you consider yourself as a dancer or a Greek dancer? Because a dancer would feel, okay, maybe I can pick up any dance. I've not tried it. That's a whole different thing. Just like you, I've not tried many things. But if you tell me to try dance, I'll be like, I'm not a dancer.
I consider myself, I'm a good dancer. I believe I'm a good dancer, but I consider myself more of an entertainer.
So you think the social media success is because of the package that it
comes. I'm not a expert or like there's some good, on social media, there's some good dancers. And I'm like, I can't do that. So, bringing in the facial expressions and a little funniness. So it's a little bit of a package deal when it comes to me, I believe. Yeah, just having fun with it.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your early life. You were born
I was born here. Seattle. I was born in Seattle. I moved to Greece when I was 6 years old. My family here was into the restaurant business, the pizza business. Moved to Greece when I was 6 years old. Finished elementary school and junior high in Greece. My parents wanted to move back to America because in Greece there wasn't a lot of future for work or even my school. I was not very good at school. I was not doing very good at school. So my dad was worried about that. So he came back to America, and when I was 15 years old, and we got back into the restaurant business, and all I did was work, go home,
so
go to school.
Why did you go to Greece? Or why did he want it?
So we can grow up in Greece. He wanted us to grow up in Greece. We grew up in his hometown where he was born, meet grandma, family, grow up with learn about the Greek culture, and mostly from where we are from. Our little village.
What is your village?
It's called Karies, Arachova. It's outside of Sparta.
Okay.
So I'm a Spartan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he wanted us to grow up in Greece, and that's embedded in us right now. So we are those people. That person is actually. I have my shirt here. This is where I'm from.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, Karies. I'm from here.
Karies.
Karies. Yeah.
Wow.
These are the most beautiful. These are the Kariatises.
Yeah.
If you go to the Acropolis, they have the statues of them. They were originally from my village.
Karies.
Wow. Yes. So That's why he wanted us to grow up in Greece. So when we grow up, so we have an identity, I would say.
What were the challenges being a Seattle boy, new in Greece, where father thinks, wow, this is motherland, but like you are like, wow, I'm an American. Was that ever a thing?
It was tough because when I first moved there, I'm not Greek enough. See, it's the tricky thing is when I'm there, even now in Greece, I'm not Greek enough, but here I'm too Greek, right? I'm not American enough or something like that. So moving to Greece at 6 years old, especially in the 80s, you had, and I grew up and I was going to live in a village. My dad was preparing, I remember my dad was preparing me from here. Hey, kids are going to make fun of you. So you got to be tough. You got to, because, you grow up here, you're sheltered, you're a little innocent. So I had to toughen up. And my dad would prepare me like, they're gonna bother you. They might pick on you. They're gonna bully you. So I was prepared for that.
Did that happen?
It did happen. Yes.
And you dealt with it.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why were you bad at studies? Was it that you were not interested, or you were just like the Greek education
the studies?
system? Well,
a little bit of both, I would say. Growing up in the village, I was more of an outside kind of kid. I didn't want to stay in and study. I just wanted to go have fun and go hunting with my dad or work in the farms. That's what I wanted to do. And the system in Greece as a student, either you're very good or you're just not. There's no medium. You got to be good, especially back then. Yeah. So I was not very good. I was mediocre. But mediocre wouldn't get you too far. It would probably junior high. A lot of my friends never finished junior high.
Yeah. If you had not moved to Greece, what would be different about Jimmy?
Possibly I wouldn't know who I am. Yeah, I would say that. I see a lot of people that visit Greece when later stages of their life, and they don't have their roots. They don't know what their roots are. They don't know who their families are. Me, for example, I go to Greece every summer. And a lot of my friends from here, they go to Greece and they like to travel, bounce around. I stay in my village. I don't go anywhere. All my friends are there. All my family members are there. I know everybody. I can go sit at the square and I can hang out with anybody. So that is, if I didn't have that, I don't know. I wouldn't be who I am now for sure.
Talking about Greece, tell me more about your village, more about the culture.
There's a lot more than just those white houses and those, blue doors. There's a lot of islands that a lot of people don't know about. They'd rather go to those big popular islands, Mykonos, Santorini. You could pick the smallest, not known island, and you will have the best time. You could go to. I would say most people should just pick a village on the mainland and just visit villages and just sit down and have dinner or have coffee at these random villages and get to know people. Great thing about Greece is, especially those small little villages, people are really nice. They love tourists.
Really?
Yes. You go to these big cities where they see tourists all the time. I don't think they care. But you go to these small little villages and they love tourists. I mean, they want tourists. That's what they're waiting for. Summertime is the time for them to make money too. So a lot of these villages, in the summer especially, they don't have a lot of people. I went to this one village up in the mountains. I don't remember what it was called. And literally it was probably like 2-3 people that lives there. And they have a little tavern, a little restaurant. And we had dinner. Best time I had. Wow. Yeah.
Tell me more about the Greek people in different parts of Greece. Are they open to exchange like you mentioned that is the case in your village?
Of course. Oh yeah. People are accepting. They want people to come to visit their hometowns. Keep especially it helps because tourism is their number one source of income. So and I'm not saying it's all about the money, but a lot of these villages, you see the same people over and over again, right? It's nice to see fresh faces, new people coming in, makes them happy. And Greeks are friendly. I mean, we can be tough looking, mean, but Greeks are softies. They have softies, yeah.
That's good to know. Good to know. And Greece has a very bad economy.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody outside of Greece could empathize with how the people are thinking about their future in that country, right? Do you have any insights? Does it impact your family?
I think the number one stereotype they have, they think Greek people are lazy in Greece.
I've never heard that actually.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yes, which is far from the truth. A lot of Greeks, I know all my friends in Greece, all they do is work all day, every day. That's all they do, and they can't get ahead. They can't get ahead. The salary is very low. Everything's expensive, and now they're trying to implement like a 6-day work week, which is beyond me. They're working more. Apparently, I think if you look at statistics, I think they're working more than anybody else in Europe. The Greeks, and now they want them to work an extra day.
So it's like the old Greece then.
Yeah, I mean, all my friends I know, I go in the summers. I can't even hang out with my friends because all they do is work. They work a lot. And they can't get ahead.
What do people in Greece work?
What do they do?
What do they do?
Mostly construction and farms.
So nothing like, I'm pretty sure like there's no big high tech, market there or something.
No,
like that.
construction, farms, and I know restaurants. A lot of people they work in bars. Bartenders.
Because of tourism.
Waiters. Yeah.
Interesting. And have your kids been to Greece?
Yes, I try every summer. I take them every summer.
How was their experience?
Oh, they love it. They're like me. They like to stay in my village and explore our village and our friends and family and our culture. They love it.
Do they like it as a tourist or they like it as their native?
They only know it as a tourist. No. They don't know what it's like in the winter. There's nobody there, so there's nothing to do. In the summer, there's a lot of kids, so they get to hang out with the kids. But they don't know. Yeah, but they love it. They like to go every summer.
Coming to dance, the Greek influence of dance is also outside of today's Greece, and it goes to Istanbul, Turkey, and different things. Because when I was watching Greek dance and even listening to the music like the bouzouki, it sounds very similar to the Turkish music that I listen to. And based on what region I'm talking about, right? Maybe the Asia Minor or some other region we're talking about, the dance form changes.
Yes.
Like, so the same guy who was not using anything other than his thighs and knees and feet is now also doing something with his hands. The region changes. Now they are sitting down and kicking down, and it gets very hard and stuff. So tell me, express a little bit about
I think that's all mostly because there are a lot of the countries next to each other. So you go to northern Greece, you go to Istanbul, all of northern Greece. It's kind of I'm not going to say they're Turkish or Balkan influence, but they're all sort of are.
Istanbul, sorry, my bad. I called it something else before. Yeah,
it's part of Turkey now. You go to Cyprus. Cyprus down below is half Greek, half Turkish. They're their own country, but that's very. You probably can see some similarities. Some Turkish stuff. I mean, even what they were. You can go as far back as like find old videos of Turkish people dancing, and they have the zebek. Zebek is back then it was a man's dance. And they dance by themselves. It's like a dance you dance by yourself. It's a huge Greeks love that dance. We dance it all the time. But the origins of that came from over there, from Asia Minor. Let's say Asia Minor, yeah.
And then there are other also dance forms that are actually rather popular. People don't know them by the name. I think skital. It's called skitel. Sirtaki.
Oh, sirtaki.
Sirtaki.
Yes.
The shoulder holds
and the same.
And then is it the music that influences the dance, because like truck, tuck, 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 and then it gets fast, or is it the dance that influences the music?
We follow the music.
Okay.
It depends. Like a lot of regions, you're looking at the musician's looking at you, and we want it nice and slow, nice and heavy. And then they know when they start picking up, they make eye contact. Okay, it's time to pick up.
I see.
And it starts getting faster.
I see. I'm also realizing, being involved in the movies and stuff, that Bollywood copies a lot of these musics and stuff. Yeah. So one of the most iconic one that had blown up a few years ago, I don't know if you can recognize the song, but it was the Hindi version of it was Ooh mehbooba, oh mehbooba, mehbooba, oh mehbooba. Ooh. Which one is it?
It's a Cypriot song.
Oh,
From Cyprus.
Okay, you can sing it?
I can't remember what it's called. Γιάννησε κι αν δεν είσαι του Δημάρχου παιδί. Yeah, it's a Cypriot song. Yeah, it's a very good dance too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I will search. Yeah. I'll search for it. But
so they did that. Really?
Yeah, and back in the day, this is I'm saying not in the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Back in 70s and 60s, when the Indian film industry was new, there was no internet, and we were very free to inspire or get inspired from different people's art.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing, right? It had an impact on an entire generation, which is mine. Without even knowing Greek people, without even being remotely interested in just Greece, we were raving and grooving to and dancing to and singing songs that were based on music that was from Greece. So I like that kind of connection. And then when growing up, someone like me who likes to explore different kind of music, I listen to African punk and different kind of things and see how they mix together. It gives me so much pleasure that they actually did it.
I like that. Yeah.
So yeah, and speaking of that, were you dancing all those 9 years you were in Greece, or was that the focus?
No, and actually back then, Greek dancing wasn't as. Surprisingly, a lot of people didn't Greek dance. Like the older people would Greek dance, but for the younger generation, none of us Greek dance. Nobody Greek dance.
What did you dance?
We didn't dance at all. Like nobody cared about the Greek dance, the tradition. Nobody cared. It was slowly getting lost back then. Let's just say the older people, like my dad and his friends, parties, sing, dancing, not a problem. But of my generation, the tradition was getting away, and I remember them trying to put dance groups together. And I remember my last 2 years when I was there, I joined our dance group. We had one in the village with traditional costumes, and they were teaching us how to dance. And I'll be honest with you, I was not a very good dancer. I was a horrible dancer. If you ask my dad, I was always dancing off beat. I was not very good. So I learned some of the basic stuff those 2 years that I was there. And then we moved here to America, and I found out here that the Greeks in America were keeping the tradition more than the Greeks in Greece.
I could tell the same thing about Indians in America.
Yeah.
It's a phenomena, I feel like. It's something that happens when you are away from your country. You try to preserve something that you have less.
That's what it is. Yeah. And for us, it's fun. Like now in Greece, the tradition is blowing up. Like it's all about traditional dancing, singing, the costumes. They're all about that right now. But it's also turning into like a big business thing now. Here, it's still for fun. We do it for fun. It's our pleasure. We don't get paid to do it. We don't. It's just purely. I have a job, and then I go and I volunteer to teach and learn. And
this is truly preserving for the sake of preserving. That is commercial preserving.
Yeah.
Do you cook?
I have to. I'm a single dad. It's not easy for me. I'm very independent. I always did things by myself. So for me, it was hard. It was heartbroken and all that. But it's got its challenges. Yeah, it's not easy.
So then, did you have to learn to cook to the liking of your kids?
Well, so I grew up in the restaurant business, right? So I knew I had a good idea of how to cook, and I do cook. I make those 5-6 things that I'm really good at, and I'll learn. My kids were very easy about what they liked. So, plus I'm not like those parents that it's like, oh, you don't like it? It's okay. No, if I make it, you're going to eat it. So
you're very Greek about it.
Yeah, we didn't fight a lot when it came to food. No. So, but they were cool. And now that they're older, now they help too. And my daughter's really good, and she's interested in learning how to cook. We just don't spend too much time cooking, but yeah.
Okay.
I do.
The reason I asked the question was, when you came back from Greece, did you miss the food there?
Oh yes.
What was the difference in the Greek food here? Because I hate the Indian food that they call Indian food in America.
Ingredients alone.
Yeah.
I mean, ingredients alone. So anything vegetable or fruit wise, it tastes completely different in Greece. You go to restaurants over there to eat, and they've picked it, from their backyard. The tomatoes, for example. Yeah. The gyros in Greece are.
How do you say that?
Gyros.
Gyros. Okay. Gyros.
A lot of people say gyro or gyro. No,
gyros.
The gyros in Greece, nothing can touch it. I mean, it's way better than.
How are they different from what we get here?
Ingredients. I think it's just the ingredients in Greece or all of Europe, I would say. But since
is the texture difference is soft and
when you get gyros in Greece, everything's off the spit. They have like the rotisserie, and they're just shaving off it's mostly pork. Mostly pork.
Yeah.
Here it's like the
chicken, shawarma,
or they have like it's beef, beef and lamb.
Yeah.
Over there is 90% you'll find it's pork.
I see.
So yeah, I think that's what makes it different.
What kind of food do you prefer?
Traditional Greek food.
Which is food to you?
100%. What my mommy makes me.
So you enjoyed the food in Greece.
Oh yeah.
You were having a good time.
Oh yes.
Suddenly your father says, "Jimmy, you're not doing well, but that's not the main reason. There are other reasons that we had to go back to USA." Why did you come back to USA?
Work.
Yeah. Dad.
Work.
Dad's work.
Dad wanted. My dad had semi-retired for those years because he wanted us to grow up in Greece, but it was time. All he did was work on the farms. That's what he did over there.
Was he a rich guy or a poor guy? Or a mediocre guy?
Yeah, we're just middle class.
Middle class.
And my dad was really good at making money, working and making money, saving his money.
So you're from like a classic middle class immigrant story. Mm-hmm. It must have been hard being a child growing up in Seattle.
When I've moved back here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me it was different because my dad opened the restaurant, and me and my two sisters, all we did was work, go home, go to school, go back to work. We didn't have outside social life.
And what work did you do there?
I was a dishwasher.
At your own dad's restaurant?
My own dad's restaurant. 15 years old. My sister, who was 14, she was a hostess, and she would wait tables.
Getting paid?
Oh yeah, my dad paid us.
Knowing your dad, if he did not have a restaurant, you would still go and work at some other restaurant or some other place to make money?
I don't know. I don't know that. If my dad didn't have a restaurant, we'll probably still be in Greece. We probably would have never came here. But restaurants are what my dad knew how to do restaurants very well. He was a very good cook.
Why?
Hard worker.
He learned it himself?
He learned it from my grandpa. So my
so
dad,
it was a family business thing?
Yeah. My dad married into the family, and my grandpa had restaurants, but he was also a cook way before that in Toronto with his brother. He grew up in the restaurant. When he was 16, I think he went to Toronto, I think. So he grew up in the restaurant business.
So there was some confidence to come back to United States. He knew the business. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So how was that experience for you and your sister, you said?
Yeah, two sisters.
Oh, two sisters. How was it for you, three of you?
For the youngest one, I think it was easy because she's 5 years younger, so she was in elementary school. For me and my other sister, it was different. It was tough because we didn't have friends. We didn't make friends.
Yeah.
Later in high school years, my sister made some friends, but when it came to me, all I did was like literally my schedule, and I'm not exaggerating. I would wake up, go to school, get off school at 3 o'clock. I'd be at the restaurant, wash dishes till 9 o'clock, go home, eat, go to sleep.
Wow.
And then I would do my homework the next day. Like I would do it during lunch at school. I would go to the library and I'd do my homework. That's where I would do my homework because I didn't have time. So that's all I did.
How did you feel about that?
I didn't know any better, so I just worked, right? But I do remember I had some sad moments, and I would like complain.
Do you protect your children from those sad moments, or do you believe that they should also have those experiences too?
No, I don't want them to. Yeah. No, I want them to do everything I didn't get to do. Go to high school games, go to prom, go to homecoming, go to college. Play in sports, have their friends. I didn't get to do any of that stuff, and I'm happy that they get to do that. And I live through it with myself, just through them. And
are they appreciative of that fact?
I think so.
Do they know the story of your childhood and all those things? Do you talk to them?
They do, but I think they do. But I think they're probably going to realize it more as they get older.
Absolutely, yeah. But they do.
They do.
They are aware.
They're aware. So that when I start being the dad,
right,
they understand where I'm coming from.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. I think that makes sense actually. Because even now, like, I do understand my parents where they come from, but back in time.
Yeah.
At that point of time, I did not understand and agree, or even I still don't agree to some of those things. But now I'm like, yeah, now I see.
So, I understand. Like, part of it, my dad was afraid, like that I was going to get in trouble because I was wild when I was a kid. When I was a little kid,
Were you?
Greece. Oh yeah, I was. I'm not going to say I was a troublemaker, but I was.
Yeah.
I was a troublemaker in the village. I was just a wild village kid, and so he was worried I would get in trouble here. So, how not to get in trouble? Go to school, come to work. So I don't blame him. I understand what he did and why he did it or how he did it. But he didn't have a choice either because he just had his family. He wanted to keep his family together, work, make money, work for 10 years, and move back to Greece. That was his goal.
Again.
Yes, 100%. He wanted everybody to go back to Greece, move back to Greece.
Again, and that did not happen, right? I'm pretty sure because you're still here.
My mom, my dad, and my sister moved back to Greece.
They did. And then you had a choice not to.
I got married, so I stayed.
Okay.
I made the right choice for me.
Okay, so the story of you washing dishes is from 13 to 15, and I know that you
15.
met your wife after 21 when you joined this Greek dance class and thing.
Yep.
So what happened between 15 and 21?
Just
what work.
Work. I remember
restaurant. And dishwashing or more management?
Until I was like 18 years old, I just washed dishes. I would wash dishes, help my dad in the kitchen a little bit, and then when I graduated, that's when it got even more tough because all I did was wake up, get in the car with my dad, drive to the restaurant, work. I used to cook with him, and then drive home with him every day. So Sunday was my only day where I had a half day. We'd start work at 4. Every day was from 11 to 10 every day. So you have my dad who's old school Greek, and then you have me who's becoming a man, and I'm an old school Greek because I was raised by an old school Greek. So we used to butt heads a lot.
I see.
So it was really tough.
Yeah. Then you became independent of your dad at some point of time, right?
Yeah, my
being
parents,
an American.
Yeah, I still worked. All I knew what to do is work. So all I did was work. Work in Greek dance. I started that Greek dancing at 20. I joined the community. We have a church, Greek Orthodox church, and that's where everything happens. And that's where I met some Greek kids, and that's when I started becoming. When I was 20 years old, that's when I started making friends.
Interesting. So it was a new life.
Yeah. So a lot of trauma there.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, a lot. And typically when I see people like you who are like all smiles and a bit of their work is a bit perfectionist style, I know what is going on behind it. Yeah. But
we've been molded to be like that.
Yeah.
No, it's good. We're good. I mean, it's like then I met my ex, my kid's mom when I was 21, and I still worked in the restaurant business till I was like 26. And I remember I left for a while because when I got married, my then wife had my son. So I wanted to be around more. I didn't want to be in the restaurant all day, every day like I was. So I left the restaurant business and I worked at Costco for 2 years. I was working part-time, and so I could be home all the time.
What did you do there?
I was a butcher.
You were a butcher?
Yeah.
You knew how to...
No, but I just learned.
So people just become a butcher if they don't know?
Well, I started as a stocker, and they liked me really much, and they didn't want me to leave. So then I said, hey, I don't want to be a stocker anymore. I want to be in the meat department. So they sent me in the meat department. Then you say no to me.
I'm never impressed by people who get hired. I'm impressed by people who can stay after they get hired. So you stayed as a butcher.
Oh, yeah. And then I did that for 2 years, and then I decided I was going to open my own restaurant. So I opened my own restaurant, and I did that for 9 years.
And your dad went back to Greece?
Oh, my dad went back to Greece before I left there. Already. Yeah, he was already gone.
Okay. Yeah. So your new life was dance and going to Costco?
Yeah.
And your son?
Yeah. Well, and actually around that time when I had my kids, I stopped Greek dancing for a while.
You did?
Yeah. And I was trying to focus on just working and then having a family, and then I opened my own business, and so there was a lot of, and then I worked even more. All I did was work. I worked for 6 years. I didn't take a day off.
Were you part of the Seattle Greek community before 20 years old?
Yes. No, not really.
It's kind of interesting. You know why?
Why?
Because I feel like after 20, you kind of, went your own way But then when you went your own way, you went into the community.
Yeah.
Whereas before 20, when you felt like your father was, in it, and he was continuously trying to put you
Yeah.
into the Greek community. So it almost felt like both of you wanted the same end result, but just in a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe. Was it right?
It was.
Yeah.
When
So how did the Greek community help you? What was so attractive about the Greek community?
Greek dancing. That's it.
Simple.
Greek
Wow.
dancing, and I met all my friends there, and Greek dancing was a good outlet, and I dove into it, and I danced, and then I started helping. I would co-direct. I would help other directors teach. I didn't know, so I would learn through these people, and so it was like it became like an obsession because I had nothing else. Yeah.
Was it a way for you to meet a partner who's Greek? Greek dancing, did it start that way, or was it just purely because it was just an outlet?
No, it started as an outlet, and after like I think I did it for about 2 years. Then I met my ex, and at a Greek restaurant. And there was like a live band every Saturday, dress up. So I met her there, and then after a couple times I saw her, I told her, "Hey, you should join us," because she was just like me. She was born here, raised in Greece, came here for school, and she was trying to come around the Greek community herself. So she didn't know anybody either.
So it was very easy for you guys to connect and
Yeah.
empathize with each other's situation and a lot of common things to,
100%.
point
Yeah.
out.
So we're both into it, and
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. And then when your kids were born, they were born here in Seattle.
Yeah.
And did you have any plan of them leaving Seattle anytime back to Greece like your father did?
No.
No? You were happy?
No, we talked about it, but we try to look ahead, right?
Yeah.
What does the future hold? They do they have a future there? Or do they have a better future here? So we were already set up in our lives here, so we decided we were going to just stay here.
Do you believe in giving back to your community?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Interesting. Why?
To give back to the community.
Yeah. I know the answer is obvious, but I want to know your reason.
It gave me a lot. It gave me a lot. So me going there, they accepted me. They brought me in. But my way of giving back is to help continuing to teach and try to bring the youth together and join the dance group and make friends. Plus, my kids dance in the same group.
Interesting. How do you think the mental health situation is different for kids today versus it was different during your time? Is it that less community engagement has more to do with mental dissatisfaction and all the things that we hear younger kids talk more about mental health right now than it used to be in my time or your time?
Yeah.
Or is it like at that time we were just like we had no resources, nobody even knew that was a topic about it? How do you see that?
I think a little bit of everything. I mean, yeah, there was no resources, but you also didn't have cell phones hanging around a home all day, just playing on your phone all day, which I do believe that causes a lot of mental or depression or not going. All we did was go out and play all the time, right? All we did was go out.
I remember
always thinking about what am I going to do? What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do now? Always trying to do something. Now kids are just. I mean, and on the other hand, kids are very chill nowadays too. My kids like staying home. But with that said, I do believe different times. I think it's just different times.
Well, you mentioned that phones and all the technology is also one of the reasons why people get depressed, because then we have some unrealistic standards to compare ourselves to, unnecessary information to bother ourselves with. Sometimes that information is true, not true, who knows, right? But then on the same side, the same technology is something that you claim saved your life.
Right.
It's a huge statement for a tough Greek guy to say. Please elaborate more. What happened?
I guess everything in moderation, when it comes down to it.
Yes. Why do you make such a huge statement that, social media saved your life in COVID? What happened?
I think when I said that on another interview, I think, right? Yeah, I remember at that time. So I had just signed my paperwork, my divorce papers, like 3-4 months right before COVID. And then when COVID hit, I remember we were locked in our houses. I mean, the best thing that happened to me was around that time was COVID for me. Because I don't want to take anything away from my ex, but she was a nurse. So she couldn't see the kids. So I had the kids full time.
I see.
So for me, it was like, this is amazing. Because if I didn't have my kids, that would have not been good. And then I remember within a week, that's when my daughter was like, "Hey, you should download TikTok." And I was like, "I don't even know what TikTok was." She goes, I guess it was called a different. It was Musically.
Why Musically?
It was Musically, and then they changed it to TikTok. And she informed me that a lot of older people were on it, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." And like literally, I think it was like 5 minutes later, I was like, I'm not doing anything anyways, right? So I downloaded it, and I found two videos that we had done, dance to the same song.
You had?
Yeah, it was like years ago.
Oh, without TikTok? No
Without
TikTok. Oh, okay.
And then I saw it was the two exact same dances, like 5 years apart. And now I'm at another, like 5 years apart from then. And I was like, you know what, let's do that same dance again. And we did it. And I put back to back, I put them all in one video, 5-year increments. And I posted that as my first video. And it got like almost 1 million views.
Timing and strategy.
Yeah. So then I remember that those 5 weeks, or even ever since then, but especially those 5 weeks, all we did was make videos every single day, every day.
Wow.
So that's what I meant mostly. Like it saved my life in a lot of ways.
So then you basically stopped thinking about other things. You basically
I had something to do. Yeah, and
to
that was huge. And the fact that I was able to do it with my kids. Yeah.
So walk me through, like what happened? You just posted the video next day.
I posted the video, and then it was like all of a sudden, like right away, I was like, it was going like 100, 200 views, 500 views, 1,000 views. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And then it was very addicting. I don't even think I slept that night. I kept on looking at my phone every 5-10 minutes. And 100,000, I was like 200,000. I'm like, well, what's going on here? And I had like, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 followers right away. And then it was like, all right, let's just keep making videos. And then we kept on making videos. They were not getting a lot of views, but we were having fun.
Nice.
And we were just having fun. We just go outside in our backyard because we couldn't go anywhere else, and we just make videos out there or make videos in the house, funny videos,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at that time you were also working a full-time job?
I was, but I had 5 weeks off because I was on lockdown. So
wow.
I had a great time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. What a blessing in disguise, right, for you.
Yeah.
And you also have a full-time, you also work as an electrician?
Electrician, yeah. Commercial.
Tell me more about that. How did that happen? When did that happen? While you were married or after your kids?
Well, so I was married. I was working at Costco, like I said. And then after 2 years, I opened my own restaurant. I had that one for 9 years. 9 years I had my own restaurant. And I opened during the recession in 2008.
Wow.
And it wasn't doing very good. Let's just say that.
Great timing, right?
No, it was bad timing.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what
And I remember for 6 years, I did not cut myself a paycheck.
For 6 years?
Yeah. So, I mean, we were living, my ex was a nurse, so she was bringing most of the income. Wow. I was paying myself just enough for gas and groceries, but that's it. And then I remember I went to Greece for a trip for the first time. I hadn't been to Greece in, I don't know, 10 years. And I had a conversation with my dad. My dad, I think I needed to hear it from somebody. Like, hey, get out of it. Get out of the restaurant business. Which I was surprised because my dad, I was raised, you got to work.
Yeah.
So,
and your dad was the one who said, get out of the restaurant.
Yeah, get out of it. So when he said that to me, it was like a relief. So I came back. 2 years later, I sold it. And then I sat for a year. I didn't do anything for a year. I took a year off for the first time. I had never taken any time off to myself, ever, since I was 14. So I took some time off. It gave me time to think what I wanted to do. I knew deep down it was probably going to be in the trade because I was really good at fixing things. I like to fix things. I enjoy fixing things. And then I remember I was taking classes, like math classes. I would take math classes online just to sharpen up on my algebra a little bit. And then after a year, I ran into an old friend of mine who was he had his own company, electrical company. And just timing again, I ran into him my family's business. I was just there for having dinner, and I ran into him, and we were just talking, what are you doing? He was telling me that he couldn't find help. I go, what do you do? He goes, an electrician. He goes, what are you doing? I told him, I'm not doing anything, just relaxing right now. He's like, yeah, come help me. So I just went to help him just for fun.
Yeah.
And then...
And you were like, well, dude, like I've already been a butcher for so many years.
I've been a cook. I've been a farmer.
Yeah.
I can do everything. I'm a jack of all. So then I...
wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And he agreed to that.
Yeah, and I think I remember about a year and a half later, I just did it part-time because I had to be home to wake up because my ex was working graveyard shifts as a nurse, so I had to be home during the night, and I had to be home till at least 8.
So I mean, this is America, right? Like you can't just do any electrical work without any proper certification and things like that. How did you?
You can start as an apprentice.
Okay.
You can start, but you work under supervision.
I see.
Yeah, you can't work by yourself.
I see.
So you're just a helper. You just.
So what kind of projects were you working there?
He was doing commercial work.
I see.
Car washes and gas stations.
I see.
So when you're new, you're just carrying tools, carrying parts. You're watching a lot, and
so basically, like some equipment or some electrical thing trips. Too much water leakage, oil leakage.
A little bit of everything. Let's just say a little bit of everything.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after a year that went by, I decided this is what I'm going to do. I really liked it, and I'm good at it, and I enjoy it. It's not even work. I like it. I like doing it. So then I continued doing it, and 4.5 years later, I got my certification, and I became a licensed electrician, and now I'm in the trades, and I work on mixed use, 250 unit, apartments, which is my sweet spot. I like that many. I don't want more than that. So,
what is a mixed use for my Indian folks?
Condos and retail on the bottom. So you have garages and retail, and then condos on the way up. Yeah,
I see. And then, how much of a time does this social media to keep up the social media profile takes?
Yeah, it takes finesse. You gotta, yeah. Well,
it's like a dance.
Yeah. You gotta find the time, especially now with my kids being older. Son's in college now, but even before he went to college, he have his friends, he have his sports. My daughter has her things. I have my job, so we have to time it well where we can sit down and make a video too now.
Is it still fun as it was when it started for you? Like the night you described, you were all up all nights, the same dopamine. Is it still today?
We try to keep it fun. It's hard sometimes now. The last 2 years, we started doing a lot of ads for some companies. And so when you're doing ads, it kind of sucks the fun out of it a little bit because now it's business, right? It's not fun. So we try to keep it in mind to say, let's find a good trend or let's come up with a good idea where we can have some fun with it. So we do still have fun with it. It's just we have to make it fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What changes if something is an ad when you're doing it yourself? Like, for example, the ad company wants you to concept it, you to shoot it, and you to record it. It's still the same as you having the idea and doing it. But then is that the extra pressure of being...
It's mostly the pressure of getting it done on their time.
The time is the problem.
I don't like that.
It's not the money or the quality.
No.
Okay, the time.
Yeah.
Why do you think they want it too quickly?
I don't know. I think a lot of these companies that go out and they'll find influencers and they'll try to push a product, so they want everything to be released at the same time. Like, we're going live on that day.
So, what kind of ads does Jimmy the Greek find himself lucrative in the market for?
It's weird because I've done a lot of ads when it comes to cameras, home security cameras, like with the Ring or inside your house cameras.
Is it because of your and your kids' FBI looks in your dances?
I think it's easy for me to make videos when it comes to that because I can show the quality of the camera, and I can add a dance through that camera, so I can have that camera record, so I can show how clear it is, and then I put a dance in there, for example.
Wow!
So it's easy to accommodate.
That's amazing. And is that the only kind of ad you guys do?
I've done ads for that. I've done a couple ads for toys. And we find ways.
Anything to do with dance, for example, like if I'm imagining, right, a dance influencer and imagining Jimmy the Greek. Let me tell you what I know. Jimmy the Greek wears aviator glasses. So Ray-Ban or Sunglass Hut becomes like a good brand.
That'd be a perfect opportunity, yeah.
Then Jimmy the Greek has his family together wearing almost, you guys look like FBI. FBI
suits,
folks. So suits, Men's
Clothes.
Warehouse, or any kind of Express, or females. Then your kids, they are into sports and whatnot. So you guys also bring, like, for example, one video I was watching of your daughter and your son. Your son looks like this WWE fighter hitman is wearing these glasses.
Yeah.
And your daughter is also saying something about her school. Then there was another video where you are showing behind the scenes, and your son is dancing like amazingly, and you say cut, and then he starts limping.
Oh.
And I'm like,
oh yeah, he was limping because he was wearing brand new shoes, and he ripped his skin off his shoe.
Yes, so that could be a good blooper for a shoe ad.
For 100%. So there's a lot of things we can.
So do you get anything similar to that is matching to your dance?
I haven't gotten any when it comes to clothes or glasses, or I haven't gotten any.
That's
of
a
those.
lost opportunity. I would definitely hire you guys for that.
Yeah. Because that can definitely be something.
Yeah. Why do you go so sharp and chic, and your kids all well dressed and everything? Like, why is that your style?
I don't know. I think we used to just make videos. It's weird, right? You have to change all the time. And I remember when I started doing it, it was always me and my daughter. Oh, dad with a daughter, dad with a daughter. And then when I felt I started getting a little old, I added my son to it. So then it was like son, father, daughter, son. And then it was kind of getting too old, so I kind of made him the star a little bit. So because he's actually he's a good dancer, and my daughter's a good dancer. But so I would always try to flip it around a little bit. And then I was like, okay, we got to change the clothes. Let's get some suits. So the second we started doing it with suits, it was grabbing people's attention. So we started doing. So I was like, you know what?
So was this the strategy for growth? This is how you were growing?
Yeah.
You were growing this way?
Yeah.
It was working out?
It was.
How did that strategy come to your mind?
I think, the first strategy was, it was just having fun. It just happened that me and my kids, father and kids, right? And then the suits, and then the disco. I try to touch base. I try to focus on the suits and what can I dance with the suits? Funk music, right? James Brown. So I love James Brown. So I would do James Brown, do some Michael Jackson and the suits. Okay, let's do some disco. Blue suits. I've only done a couple of those ones. So that was the strategy, and that's still the strategy. I still try to stay up to date with my niche.
Yeah, because I saw you guys do different kinds of dances. You do boogie. You do you try. You do two-step. What is that? Two-step or something the cowboys do? You guys do?
Oh yeah, line dancing.
The line dancing.
Yeah.
Yes. So line dancing. Do you know line dancing, or this is
I know some line dancing. Yeah, okay. Some line dancing.
That's nice. Where did you pick it up from?
Online.
Online. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So are you a perfectionist?
Yes, but I try not to be.
And do your kids hate you for that?
Yeah, that's why I try not to be.
Is one of your kids like a perfectionist like you?
My daughter is like me. My son's more chill about it. Like he's okay with just we'll do it one time and he'll get it done the right way. My daughter's good at that too, but she wants to make sure she looks good, and I want to make sure we all look good. So yeah.
So Jimmy the Greek, with 250K followers on Instagram, with 700K on TikTok, 400, almost 500K subscribers on YouTube. That's a huge deal, by the way. And I don't know many more on different other platforms. Do you drive a Rolls Royce yet? Or
No.
Yeah. So tell me more about the real struggles of being a famous social media personality. How much of a struggle is it to actually draw money out of people for all the hard work that you do? How's your experience being with ads? How's your experience being with other collaboration and monetization? Can you be sustainable with what you're doing today?
It's not sustainable. For me, it's not, because I have a real job. So I have to, at one point, I know a lot of people that quit their jobs just to do that. And that's tough. I think if you're just doing what we do, like just dancing or you'll have your ups, but you're going to have your downs.
Wow.
And it's not a business for me yet, right? So it's not like I do it every day. So it's
Right.
not sustainable when it comes to money.
So do you make fun money or serious money right now out of this social media?
I call it fun money.
Fun money.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just sometimes I don't make nothing.
Do
I do it
different
for
social
fun.
So do different social media companies treat you differently? Do you think one is more respecting in terms of monetization?
Platforms?
Yeah, platforms.
YouTube's probably better. TikTok's like a hit or miss. Like they'll have their highs and then they have their lows. Instagram's tough.
I see.
I think.
Do you get paid more with paid marketing for creating content for brands or advertisers?
Ads.
Ads.
Although this year has been a little bit tough because companies, they rather you do. I haven't done a lot of ads this year, mostly because I turn them down. I've been too busy.
You turn down ads because you're too busy?
I
Do you think because they are not worth the money?
Yeah, because they're doing a lot of these. They don't do flat rate; they do commission. So it's like I can't do.
I have no idea. Explain that.
Commission. So they want me to sell.
So define they. Who are they? A watch company.
It can be a watch company, right? We want you to sell. We want you to advertise this watch. I rather do a flat rate, but they don't do flat rates now. They just want you to do advertise this watch, and we'll give you a link. And whoever clicks on that link and buys the watch, we'll give you 10% or 20% commission. And I don't like doing that because now I'm a salesman, and I'm not and I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not make money. I just have fun.
So then, if someone has to do it for money, do you think they can do it for money?
Yeah.
They can. It's sustainable that way.
They're gonna have to just content every day.
Oh,
Every day.
I see.
Every day.
Actually, that was my next question. Then, what does your day look like or week look like because of this new opportunity since the last 4 years?
Now it's tough because my son is in school, so I don't have him. My daughter, she does her own thing. So we try to get together twice a week. Try to make 4 or 5 videos that I can post throughout the week. That's what it usually looks like.
So you guys decide schedule.
Schedule.
That's how you can make it work, right?
Yeah, because my daughter also goes to my ex-wife's house. We have her 50-50. So she'll come to me, for example, like on Wednesday or Monday to Monday, and hey, when are you free? Thursday. Okay, Thursday we're gonna make the videos.
Where are you going from here?
I'm sorry?
Where are you going from here?
From here, I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing.
Dancing.
I'm gonna try to do. I'm trying to do more skits with my daughter. More. We're trying to do a little bit more than just short videos on YouTube. We're trying to talk a little bit more about ourselves, play games.
You mentioned your daughter was a learned dancer, trained dancer. Is she pursuing dance?
Not anymore.
Not
She
anymore.
was doing,
But she is
doing
trained.
jazz and lyrical dances. She
okay.
was very good. She's a very good dancer. Yeah.
No, I have seen that, but to be honest, like I'm not an expert to judge anyone, so I can't compliment.
She's very good, and I'll put her in front of the camera. I'll say, "Hey, learn this dance," and she'll learn it, and then she'll break it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. How hard is it for your kids to learn something new?
For them, it's easy.
Okay.
Easier than it is for me. I used to learn these dances super easy. Now it's like I can't. I'm like, break it down, so they break it down for me. And then we try to, and then we collaborate, the three of us. Okay, how can we make it better? Or what can we change?
That's nice.
Yeah.
So how many Greek dance styles do you know in all?
Greek dancing?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of Greek dances.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of Greek dances. Because you're talking about, you go from northern Greece all the way to South Greece. There's so many different regions and so many villages. But it's not. It's impossible to know all of them.
Yeah. And what do they do here in Seattle? What is like the most popular?
We try to touch base a little bit of everything also.
And is there like an annual dance thing that happens that you guys participate in?
And once a year in California, we go to. It's usually in California. It's called the FDF Folk Dance Festival, and actually they changed it now, Faith Dance Festival.
Okay.
So a lot of the Greek communities from the West Coast, from Portland, Seattle, all the way down to California, they'll get together in this one area, and usually like 3,000-4,000 Greeks, one hotel, and they competition. So they have judges, and it's a nice from Thursday all the way to Monday. It's a fun, crazy weekend. Let's just say that. Loud, very loud.
Do you read and speak Greek?
Me? Oh, yes. I speak Greek.
Is it hard?
No, not for me.
Why do they say
Greek is
it's
hard.
all Greek and Latin for me?
Yeah. Greek is hard. Apparently, for non-speaking Greeks, it's hard. But it's not. If you could, like a lot of Mexicans, they can speak Spanish. They can speak Greek.
Really?
A lot of the words are similar.
Ah. Can you give a message to your followers in Greek?
Give them a message.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the message can be about, like, don't be afraid of trying new things, be confident just like you. Similarly.
Μη φοβόσαστε να δοκιμάζετε καινούρια πράγματα. Πάντα να ακολουθάτε τα όνειρά σας και πάντα να προσπαθείτε όσο το πιο καλύτερο μπορείτε.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. What did you say exactly?
Follow your dreams. Always do the best you can. And then follow your dreams and always try to do the best you can.
Wow, that's beautiful. And that's how you encourage your kids as well?
100%, yeah.
Do you guys speak multiple languages?
No, just Greek and English.
Just Greek and
actually,
English.
my kids, they don't speak it very well.
Okay, they speak English.
English, yeah.
English.
So they get in trouble a lot because they don't. I always lecture them. You gotta learn how to speak Greek.
You said you were a troublemaker. Generally, troublemakers are also interested in acting and other kind of play because it is equivalent to troublemaking in legally.
Yeah.
So tell me, did you ever try acting, or what is your thought around that?
Not really. No,
not really. You did not.
I mean, I did some. I'm not even going to call it acting. You did little plays at school, right? Other than plays at school, little theater, stuff like that. But that was all.
I see. What is your biggest strength?
I do the best with what is given to me. So with what I have, I'll do the best I can. That's for sure. I'm honest, and I'm loyal. So those three things, those are my biggest strengths.
Do you know your purpose? Or you are still finding it? Or do you don't believe in purpose? There's nothing called as purpose.
In life? I think different stages of life you have purposes. So my purpose was, I think, being a good dad. Yeah. So that's my purpose right now. And that's
beautiful.
That's what I'm going to keep going with.
That's beautiful. You're very much dedicated to your kids. And such a beautiful thing. What was your purpose before that?
I don't know. Before that, just work. I didn't know anything else. Like coming, immigrant parents. There's a lot of Greeks and I'm not just Greeks. Probably a lot of foreign people that come to this country. They all know that you got to work. That's it. Being an immigrant's kid, it's not easy. Work. You got to work. It's always working. So I don't know. There was not much of a purpose back then. I don't think there was a purpose. It was just work. Yeah.
Having grown up in America, right? Like, how did you feel about? Because your dad was always like, "Oh no, we will have to go back to Greece," and you are a different kind of dad. Is the rest of the Greek community also the same way, or they are like, "No, we should still either do more here or go back"?
Most Greeks that I know, they want to do more here. I mean, back then, I do believe most Greeks, they would leave their country, even other countries, to come to America to make money, to go back to the country. But a lot of them, they never got to do that because, life is a little bit better here. More money, there's more opportunities, right? My dad was a rare case. My dad, I've never met anybody like my dad. We're going to go to America, we're going to work for 10 years, go back. That's what he did. He came here, he worked 7 days a week for 10 years, and he went back. I'm not exaggerating. Never took a time off. In 2001, we closed the restaurant for 3 weeks for the first time ever because we had some health issues. And we went to Greece. But that was the only time he took time off.
Wow.
So not a lot of people are like my dad. My dad was like, I'm going to go to America. We're going to make some money and go back to Greece. That's all. Yeah. That's all it was. Most Greeks that I know, they come here with the intentions of going back to Greece. They just don't ever do it. They just have their families here. They have their businesses here. And I mean, that was me too. I was a victim of that too. And I didn't have business or money, but I was already here. Yeah. I was already set up. So it was easy for me just to stay here. Yeah.
Does this feel like home, Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it definitely feels like home.
Do you have anything that you haven't done yet that you were like, yeah, man, I mean,
Here?
anywhere in your life, like you were like,
Travel.
you wish you could travel more?
Well, yeah. And maybe I'll travel later on, once my kids are in college. I like to travel more. And I would like to travel more in Greece. There's a lot of places in Greece I haven't been. A lot of islands I haven't been. I like to first. A lot of people, they know, like, hey, I want to go here. I want to travel in Greece more.
With all the following that you have and, your kids going out, I would be like, yeah, maybe that's the new adventure for Jimmy.
Yeah.
Where he goes and, he explores new different dance styles, maybe just goes and creates vlogs in Greece and, show us Greece. Show us the real Greece.
Yeah.
Show us what is behind. If I tear that picture of, the white picture, what is behind that in the small village where you grew up? That could be interesting. Are you thinking in those directions? Or?
I am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So how does that work out?
But I don't know. We'll
With
see.
your work and,
I don't
your
know.
kids here.
That's a tricky one because I have a job and I love what I do. That's how I make my living. I'm just a blue collar worker. That's all I am. But that's the idea. And I like to do more, like I said, the traveling and touch other things. And when it comes to social media, a little, we talked about a little acting and a little stuff like that. If it works out, it works out. If it comes my way, yeah. Maybe chase it a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah. I observed that you care a lot about travel.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you would also like for your kids to, if you could, you would make that available to them as the first sort of gift, right? Travel, the gift of travel. Why is traveling important to you?
So I'll be honest with you. I don't like traveling much.
You don't like traveling?
No. But I want to. I don't like flying. I don't like flying. I don't like flying at all. But I do believe it's important to travel and get out and learn on your own. So like my kids, I like for them to finish college and I would like for them to move to Greece for a year or 2 years. They can get a job and work remotely or that's what I like them to do. Get a job. If they can work, if it's a kind of job where they can work remotely, move. Go live in Europe. Go live in Greece for a year or two. Learn something new. Talk to new people. Go live with grandma and grandpa for a little bit. I like for them to do that, yeah.
Did you teach your kids how to cook? Or do they know how to cook?
They know how to whip out some eggs. Yeah.
Because that's one common theme I've seen with immigrant kids is their family kind of make sure sometimes that they know one or two dishes they know how to cook.
They're very independent. So they have to know. Yeah, I'm like, hey, you guys are going to make your own eggs. Now he's in college. So I'm like, hey, go get some eggs. Go hard boil some eggs so you can have eggs in your, he's a football player. So I want him to eat. So yeah.
Nice. You mentioned there's a strong Greek community here. And what do you guys do to preserve the Greek culture in Seattle or in Washington or in the United States? How do you do that?
I'm going to be honest with you, and we've talked about it a million times. Dancing,
just dancing.
Greek dancing is it's not just dancing. They
is it just for you or others as well?
Others too. Oh yeah.
Oh, so it's not like there are Greek singers and musicians that are playing.
So they have there's different groups. They have like groups where they can have like little organizations. But the biggest one, most of these people, all the people that I know in Seattle, I met through the dance program.
Interesting.
Yeah, everybody and every single one of them, like from old to young, right? They all came through the dance program. And when I joined, none of them were there, but I know of them because of that program.
Interesting. Did you consider yourself an extrovert or an introvert?
I stay quiet sometimes, but no, I'm a loud guy. I'm loud all the time.
Yeah, so basically, if I ask your childhood friends who don't know you and be like, hey, this guy has like 500K followers and he dances publicly and people love him, they'll be like, yeah, that sounds like Jimmy.
Yeah, they'll say that 100%.
Okay, that's
I've been that guy, yeah.
That's so nice because a lot of times I feel like, who you are as a child, you kind of take it with you. Your kids are also find it easy to make friends?
Me? Oh yeah.
Your kids?
My kids? Yes.
They find it easy to make friends. They have tons of American friends because they are growing up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very easy to make friends. I remember I remember the first time I noticed that with my son. He was probably like, I don't know, 9. And we went to a park, and a bunch of older kids, high school kids, were playing basketball. He just walked up to the basketball court, and he's like, he asked if he can play, like, not a big deal. And then within like 5-10 minutes, everybody knew his name. Yeah, very outgoing kid.
That's very nice.
Makes friends easy, yeah.
Yeah. So, moving on to the next segment, I actually asked a bunch of people on social media, like what are like some interesting questions they have for Jimmy the Greek.
All right.
Now, excuse me, most of my followers are Indians, so you have like Indians asking questions to you. So, the first one is, who is your favorite cricketer?
Cricket? I don't know anybody.
But you know cricket, right?
I know
cricket is a sport which is like, very famous sport in India.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody lives and dies for
I don't know
that.
anybody, no.
Okay, great. So no one, whoever is like the Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma fan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And then the other question the same person asked was, then also, who is your favorite Indian actor, if any?
Ooh.
Do you know about any Indian actors, any famous Indian actors?
I know a comedian, Russell Peters.
Oh, yeah, Russell Peters, yeah.
I like him as a comedian.
Nice.
Any actors? No, I don't know. I don't even watch.
Russell counts. He's been in one of the few Indian series.
Oh, yeah, he's my favorite one then.
He's done one of the Indian detective series. I think it's called Indian Detective.
And actually, I like him because in his, like a couple of years ago, I think in his, not that long ago, he had a Greek guy open for him for a lot of his comedy shows.
Who's the guy?
Angelo Charujas.
Okay.
Big guy. So he had him open for many years, I think. And that's how I found out about.
Okay.
Yeah, Russell Peters, and
nice.
I went and saw him live in Seattle. The guy's hilarious.
Yeah, he talks a lot about the cultural differences between being an Indian in India and being an Indian in America.
Yeah.
And he definitely draws a lot of other immigrant crowds as well. Have you? Is there a similar thing like the Greek parents are very similar to how he describes Indian
100%,
parents?
Yep.
So the next question: how do you contribute to your cultural dance, and what would you do to preserve it? I've already asked this question for the future generation. So you already have a dance, and you teach dance, right? You have a class.
I teach dance. Yeah,
every week.
Every Monday, and actually I've taught from little kids all the way up to high school, and this year I'm teaching the high school group that I had last year. Now they moved up to, they're like older, they're college kids, so I teach those kids, and my kids are included in that group.
Oh wow, how many times a week?
Once a week.
Once a week
For now, and then we have the competition in February, so as we get closer we're probably going to do it 2-3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks for answering that question. And last question. Sure. What dance type do you enjoy the most? Do you like learning new dance forms?
I love learning new dance forms. I think my favorite though is like what I do on social media. I like disco and funk stuff.
Disco and funk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. I think those were all the questions I had for you, Jimmy. And I think you are one of those guests that made me feel that sometimes it's just like the individual makes choices as they come.
Yeah.
While staying true to who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like you are someone who's sure about who you are, who your roots are, but at the same time you have enough flexibility to keep on, living a good life, and you feel responsible enough to make, others in your life also feel like they should have a good time and have fun and
100%.
Yeah. So it was such a pleasure to meet you, Jimmy.
Likewise.
The Greek.
Yeah.
And more than a pleasure of meeting another Jack of all, it was a pleasure that you are one of the first Greek individuals that I have had more than 2 hours of conversation with. And I wish I do that more. I wish, Greek people learn a lot more about Indians, and Indians do learn a lot more about Greek folks and the culture. Any last message for our listeners and why they should follow your YouTube channel, Instagram?
Come follow me.
Where?
We on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all under Jimmy the Greek 7. Just come follow us and see how much fun we're having. I dance with my kids. We all three have fun. Now my son's in college, so we still try to make it work, and it's just showing the world that hey, You can have fun with your kids and your kids can have fun with you. So come follow.
Learn how to dance from Jimmy the Greek.
That's right.
Thank you so much.